Hey, what's up? My name is Samuel Leeds, and in this video, I'm going to share with you how I became a millionaire by age 25. And hopefully, when I teach this and share this and tell you what I did, you'll be inspired. And the crazy thing is, because I am one of those people that has to share everything I'm doing. Like, if I watch a good movie, I'm trying to get my whole family to watch the movie. If I go to a good restaurant, I'm telling my whole family and my whole friends, go eat in this restaurant. I'm giving the restaurant loads of free promotions because I enjoyed it. And in the same way, when I became a millionaire, started with nothing, and I'm like, wow, I failed in school, and now I've become a millionaire. And I told all my friends, my family, and now my whole family, my brother, my parents, my sister, everyone's doing what I'm doing, and everyone's making money in property. And I feel like I broke the chain. And a lot of rich people, when they become wealthy, they just hide away, and you don't really hear from them. They don't really share. But I always vowed never to do that. And in this video, I'm going to talk about how I became a millionaire, which I actually achieved by the age of 25. Now I'm a multi-millionaire. Because when you do it once, when you become a millionaire, it's not difficult to do it again. It's like anything, if you learn the hard bit, if you're learning to drive, it's hard to learn to drive. But once you've learned to drive and you can go to work in your car, you can do it over and over and over again because you learned how to do it. And, I get real satisfaction from teaching people how to become their own boss, how to get on the property ladder. And I'm going to talk to you about how I became a millionaire. So how did I become a millionaire? Well, I actually created a strategy, and I created this when I was about 23 years old. And this thing that I created, this service that I created, just banged and blew up all across the UK, and it made me a millionaire. And that thing that I created was deal selling. Okay, packaging and selling deals. And the reason I created it was because no one was doing it back then. Like, no one was doing YouTube videos about how to be a deal seller, package and sell deals. It wasn't a thing, okay? And what I realized was, when I was like 23, because I'd bought a few houses, so by the time I was 23, I owned quite a few houses. I'd bought them on purchase lease option agreements. I'd partnered, I'd joint ventured, I'd borrowed money from people. I was in a lot of debt, but I did own assets, and I knew how to find good deals. And what I did was, I started finding deals, but rather than buying them myself, because I can't buy every deal I see. It costs a lot of money to buy a deal. If you're buying a house, damn, you're going to need like tens and tens of thousands of pounds to buy a house. Now, and that house will make you rich eventually. But this is the problem with property investing. It's slow. It's like, yeah, you buy a house and then you sit on it and you rent it out. You rent it for £1,000 a month, but then you've got to pay the mortgage payments, the maintenance, the voids, the insurance, your taxes. You're not left with a huge amount of money, but the real wealth in property is when it goes up in value, which can take years. So property investing is amazing, but it's not like immediate cash in your pocket. It's also not very liquid. If you buy a house, you can't just flip it quickly. It takes time. You've got to get solicitors involved and everything. So when I was like 23, I thought, okay, I'm really good at finding deals. I'm really good at deal sourcing, but I want to get paid quickly. I was getting married, and I wanted some cash. I had to pay some people back, some of the loans and stuff. And I thought, I'm property rich, but I'm kind of cash poor. How can I get quick cash in my pocket? So I thought, okay, here's what I'll do. I'm going to find some deals, some really juicy deals. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to contact some of my friends who are property investors that I know are looking for deals. They're like waiting for the perfect deal, and I'll broker the deal. So I'll say, look, if you want a deal, I'll find it, but you can pay me like 2% of the purchase price. And for a £200,000 house, which is very standard, 2% purchase fee, that's £4,000. So I had a few investors that were down for it. And to begin with, I was very sloppy. I didn't have this as a systemized business. So to begin with, I was like, going out with like 3 investors at a time, and I was just showing them around loads of different properties that were on the market. And I was just saying, look, I've done my research and due diligence. I'm in with these agents. I know we can get a good price on this house, this house, this house. So I was like doing all the donkey work, and then I'd bring them with me to go and see the houses. And it was okay. And some of them would pay me, and some of the deals would come off, some would not come off. But it was just a bit slow. And it was actually one of my business mentors. I've got to give a shout out to Tony Crook. But one of my business mentors was like, hang on a minute, this has got legs. Rather than going and viewing some houses and bringing some of the investors with you and why don't you just go on your own and view the houses and put offers forward on the best houses, and then when the offer's accepted, then send an email out to your entire database of investors and say, I've just had an offer accepted on this property. This is the purchase price. These are the figures. This is the due diligence done. This is the research I've done on the property. And I want $4,000 and I want it up front. And it's just the first come, first served basis. No messing around. Genuine urgency. Because it's not like you're trying to rush someone to pay you money for the sake of it. You're saying, hey, this deal, I've just had my offer accepted. We need to get this wrapped up. The estate agent needs to know who's buying it. The estate agent needs to know, the buyer's proof of funds and correspondence address and photo ID and solicitor details. So, we need to get this wrapped up now. So, my fee's £4,000. How would you like to pay? So I'm like, okay. So I go and view some. This was the day. I can't remember what the exact date was, but I remember the day when I'm like, holy moly, I'm onto something. And that was when I went out, I viewed, I don't know, about 12 houses in one day. And I put some offers forward and I ended up getting 4 properties, offers on 4 properties, all accepted. And I remember that evening, I'm like, damn, I got 4 houses. The estate agent has basically accepted all my 4 offers. They're really good houses. And I put together this email and I just put, dear investors, I've just secured these 4 deals. They're all in Wolverhampton. These are the details. And if you want to reserve, drop me a text and tell me which property you want to reserve. Property 1, woof, and I put the details. It's a 4-bed HMO. It's 85 grand. It needs 2 grand renovation. Blah, 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 blah. It's going to be this much rent. HMO management company in place. Boom. Property 2, woof, details. Property 3, property 4, text me to reserve and I'll call you up and take payment. Boom, bang, sent the email out. And within 20 minutes, my phone is just pinging. Ping, 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 ping with investors that I just built up organically over the years. Friends, families, connections, suppliers, people that I've done business with, people that I'd met when I was just out at networking events. I've collected their business cards. Not thousands of investors. I'm talking maybe a couple hundred, few hundred. So I send out this email, ping, 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 ping. I'm like, okay, this is crazy. Okay, so I call up the first guy, speak to him. Hey, John, you said you wanted to reserve property 1. I've got a contract which is going to give you a 14-day calling period, terms and conditions about the nature of this bit of this agreement, which I've got drawn up by my solicitor. I was like, so the fee's $4,000. Have you got any questions for me? And John's like, no, it sounds all good. The property sounds good. I trust you, and obviously I'd need to see it and get a survey on it and stuff like that. But I'm happy to pay the reservation fee. I'm like, okay, cool. So I'll send you an invoice. You could pay it maybe, now. Oh, well, yeah, send me an invoice. I'll get it paid in the next few days. The thing is, John, I've got an agent that's just accepted the offer. I need to know who's buying this. In the morning, I'm going to need to give an answer to the agent of who the buyer is. So in order to reserve it, would you be able to pay the fee tonight? Yeah, sure. I can get it paid tonight. No problem. Send me over the contract and the invoice. I'm like, okay, cool. So I'll send it to John. But then, after I sent that to John, I get the next person call me up. Text me, who I call up. I'm like, okay. I made £12,000 in 1 hour. And I remember thinking, I went out, spent a day doing some viewings, I sent an email, I just made 12 grand. Could I do the same thing next week? Could I do the same thing tomorrow? Damn, I'm onto something. I got a business here. And that was when I absolutely blew up as a deal sourcer, and I just started selling deals all across the country. Shout out to a guy called Blair Singer. Blair Singer mentored me. So many people mentored me, man. I spent so much money on going on training courses and sales programs and paying for mentorship and guidance. And I started doing deals all across the country. So rather than just Wolverhampton, I then branched into Stoke-on-Trent. I then branched up to Sunderland, Newcastle. I then went to Berkeley. I was just all over the place, finding good deals, below market value, fixer-uppers, HMO opportunities, serviced accommodation deals, different good deals as well. Here's a rule I had as well. I used to have a rule that was, I'll never sell a deal that I wouldn't buy myself. And people say, well, why don't you just buy it yourself then? It's because I can't buy everything myself. I can't buy every good deal that I see. But I wouldn't sell something unless I would legitimately buy a deal of that same standard myself. So I'm only selling good deals. I think it's really important to do that to build reputation. That's how I built up a reputation. And anyway, yeah, by the age of 25, I managed to sell over 250 deals. And you can do the math. You know, if you're making $3-4 grand a pop, 250 deals is a lot of money. And that's how I became a millionaire. And then I used the money that I made from deal sourcing to go on holiday. No, just kidding. No, although I did do that. I remember, here's the thing though, right now I'm away. Right now I'm in Las Vegas. And I'm just on my way to Beverly Hills later on. I'm staying at the Beverly Hills Hotel. And, you know, I do use my, people that say, you know, business people that say, make your money, but then live like a pauper and invest all of it. It's like, come on, man, life's too short. I'm 31 years old. I want to enjoy my life now. So if I'm making, you know, 10 grand from selling a deal or 5 grand or whatever I'm making, I'm not going to invest the whole lot of money. I'm going to keep some of it to live a good life, but then I'm going to invest the rest. You see? And I managed to systemize the business. So I managed to get an assistant that would help me go out and do the viewings and do the bookkeeping. And I remember, you know, just like traveling all over the world. Thailand, Dubai, Singapore, across Asia, India, America, California. And I'd be having people pay me. You know, so I can send out an email from my phone. Bang, to my investors. Woof. And then once I sent an email out, they're going to text me. I can call them up. I can be in America. In fact, it's really good sometimes because the time difference can really serve you well. You know, because you like wake up and it's like maybe 9 a.m. here and you have a bit of a lie-in. But then towards England, it's like the end of the day and you're able to just I'll work for like 2 hours from 9 till 11. But then in England, it might be towards the end of the day. And then I'll spend the rest of the day just relaxing, hanging out. I've made my money that day. Another thing is if you're packaging and selling deals, you basically need 4 things to package and sell deals. You need a list of investors. You need to be able to find good deals. You need the skills and the reputation and the salesman skills or the expertise to actually close the deal. And you need contracts. You need to have, if ever you're taking money off anyone ever, or doing any deal, even with family, you need a contract. So that's it. And when you've got those skills, you can do the same thing. In fact, I've helped a lot of people also get into deal selling. And selfishly, you might say, why would I help people do the same thing? You know, well, a lot of my students that I teach this strategy bring me deals now. Because now, like I just had somebody, a lady called Marie. Marie, if you're watching, I love you. She brought me this deal, which is a beautiful deal. I paid her a finder's fee, but I want to make over £1 million profit on that one deal. So, you know, for me, having a community, the more people that are in property, rather than seeing that as competition, I see that as collaboration, you know. The great thing as well is if you've got those 4 skills, if you have the skills to sell, you've got the investors, you've got the deals, and you've got the contracts, then you can also joint venture with people. If you find a really juicy deal, instead of selling the deal to the investor, you can partner with the investor. And you can say to the investor, you put the money in, I found the deal, I'll oversee it, but I'll take a profit share. And you can start building up your actual portfolio without using any of your money, which is just amazing. So ultimately in business, the more valuable you become, the more money you'll make. Rather than chasing the money and chasing the success, chase the value. The reason I became a millionaire was because there's a lot of investors out there that wanted good deals, but didn't have the time or the inclination or the energy or the skill set to be able to find those deals. So they're relying on estate agents. And estate agents are being paid by the seller. So the estate agent, of course the estate agent's going to say everything's a good deal. Here's a good deal, here's a good deal, here's a good deal. And the investor's like, oh man, is that a good deal? Whereas I'm getting paid by the investor. So I'm working on behalf of the investor. I'm finding the best deals. So I'm adding value to the investor. And when you add value, the money will follow. So that's the strategy that I used to become a millionaire. Obviously, I've also been investing in property for a long time, you know, and, you know, when I started deal selling, I was already doing okay. But literally when I was at school, I failed. I failed in school and I'm not particularly academic, but what I have got going for me is good business acumen. And I think, you know, just the ability to keep going, to not give up, to add value, that's what ultimately made me a millionaire. So the reason I'm shooting this video is just to inspire people and to give back. I don't want to be one of those rich people that then hide away. I want to be able to share and help and inspire other people. So if you've got questions for me, let me know. I wish you every success, and I'll see you next time.